And away we go. It's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. www.galacticfriedchicken. Go to the site, get the app. They will bring it right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or head down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up and get yourself some of that galactic goodness, some tendies, some chicken bites, some fries, some fried chicken, coleslaw, fried pickles, you name it. And that delicious galactic sauce. It is out of this world. All right, Aaron. I'm exhausted. Episode 400 of the BCJ podcast is in the books.
You made it.
That's a lot. That's a lot of episodes. Like, we downplayed it tonight, but in reality, 400 of that's a lot.
Over 7 years.
Yeah. How many things have you done 400 times?
I'm not answering that question. That's another question.
Oh, that's a great. How many things have you done once a week for 7.5 years?
Also, not answering. Also, not answering that question.
Oh boy, but I love it. It's great, and that's our flagship show. So good stuff tonight with Dave. Talked a lot of ball. I think that was kind of. We didn't want to do extravaganza. It's what we do. We talk ball. So we talk some ball, and now it's time to do a little Big 12 Week 6 preview.
Let's.
Hey.
Hi, Chad.
Good to see you. This one, Kansas at Oklahoma State. So here are the things that are difficult about being in a new conference, Aaron. As you don't know, like we joke around about Kansas has beaten Texas a couple times. That garnered, major national attention because Kansas should never beat Texas in football. But we don't know, and we're starting to learn a lot of the idiosyncrasies of a conference where Oklahoma State has for a long time had its way with Kansas State, and Kansas State is clearly the better team right now. And we have talked about wanting to elevate Kansas State into that Oklahoma, Texas kind of realm, but they haven't quite gotten there yet. You can't lose to Oklahoma State, even if Oklahoma State largely has your number.
Yeah, if Kansas State wins this game, I think they're starting to flirt with top 25 at that point.
They're 4-1.
Yeah, their only loss being to Missouri, which not a great loss, but it is what it is.
There's a rivalry game they lost by 3.
I think they're favored by 12. They're putting up over 100 yards of offense, over 100, almost 140 yards of offense more than Oklahoma State. Somehow Oklahoma State's getting almost 350 yards, which when they've been toying with 3 quarterbacks more often than not this season, or at least multiple quarterbacks. I'm surprised.
It was definitely 3 for a while.
I'm surprised. Well, I didn't know if they shrank it down to 2 at some point, but that's still surprises me that they have almost average 343 and a half yards of offense. I think it's a little wild. 220 plus coming through the air.
So it's not like they're running for 190 yards a week.
Right. But I think that the Kansas State quarterback, Will Howard, I think he's been very good.
When he's been on the field, he's been outstanding.
I don't know that I'm ready to put him into great in this conference yet, but I think he's been very good.
He's in the hall of very good.
ESPN's giving the FPI is giving almost 80% at 78.8 to Kansas State. I think that I take the points. I think that I take Kansas State, however you want to bet this one. And the over-under on this one is 54. I think
I go under.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's a little low.
Okay.
Only because
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess looking at Kansas State and what they've done this year, they've not scored 40. They scored 45, 42, 27 at Missouri, and 44. I guess I'd be surprised if this one goes under.
Yeah, I mean, I get like if Kansas State's in the 40s, then obviously you think it's going to go over. So, but I don't know. I think Kansas State might end up in the low 30s with Oklahoma in like the mid 20s. So I think that's if I had to guess, that line is going to, like, the more I
It'll be
talk it
close.
out, it's going to be right on, I think. So somewhere in there.
Still,
I wouldn't. Well, that to say, I wouldn't bet the over under on that.
I agree. You probably don't touch the over under, but if you feeling dangerous, I think I'd take the over.
I would take Kansas State giving 12. Red Wivel Wivelwee. Oklahoma, Texas, Cotton Bowl, Jerry World. Texas is favored by 6.5. The over-under is 60.5. I think Texas wins comfortably here.
Obviously, the game of the week here, at least in conference. If not, maybe I haven't looked around the country, but potentially the game.
It's not the game that I'm most interested in, but it's for sure the highest profile game in the conference and probably the country.
Are you more interested in Georgia, Kentucky?
No. I'm talking about Big 12 games.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
I was talking about the nation.
Yeah. What I'm saying is it's the biggest Big 12 game, but I have another Big 12 game I'm going to be.
Okay. Dialed in on.
You know which one.
I got a feeling. But Texas is favored by 6.5. Now Texas is according to the FPI, Oklahoma is favored.
Really?
54.6.
Did Dylan Gabriel
look?
Is he
say what you will about Dylan Gabriel. He's no Tanner Mordecai. He's got 15.
I have said what I will about Dylan Gabriel for a long time.
15 touchdowns, 2 picks. Only 2 picks on the year. He's not turning the ball over very much. 118 of 157 on the year. He's at 1,593 yards on the year, compared to Quinn Ewers, who is only 97 of 147 for 1,358, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Are you abandoning your belief?
Gabriel's got better numbers.
Are you abandoning your belief?
Texas is still back. Give me Texas.
What did you believe leading up to the Oklahoma game?
Ebbs and flows. They ebb and they flow. And against Texas,
what is this? This is a flow week.
They put a 50 burger up last week against Iowa State, and it's time for them to flow. Not good timing.
Right. It's not an ebb. They're not in an ebb cycle. They're in a flow cycle.
This is gonna be crazy. I don't know. I've not seen anybody else with the same take that I've had on Oklahoma, where they've peaks and valleys. And I think that this is going to be a valley game, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I'd hammer Texas on the over,
I would as well. The one thing I'm curious about, the Oklahoma defense is really good, really, really good. So, Are we going to end up in a 24-21 game in the fourth quarter?
The over under on this game is 60.5 currently. I take over.
I want to agree.
But if there's a
scenario,
if Oklahoma flows instead of ebbs, then
maybe it is a scenario where this one. Here's what I'll say. I see a scenario where this one's hanging in the mid 50s in the fourth quarter, and then does it go over or does it hold?
I think that if Quinn Ewers wants to prove he's the guy, then this has to be balls to the wall.
David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium, 4 p.m. Fox.
This the one?
This is the one. Oh, I can't wait for this one. It sounds like John Rice Plumlee is going to be back. UCF at Kansas. We don't know about Kansas, the quarterback situation at Kansas yet.
Jalen Daniels, yeah.
Jalen Daniels was out last week with he's had a back issue. He had it in camp last week. Give me Jalen Daniels, John Rice Plumlee. Let's see where UCF is, because I'm fascinated to how they recover from what happened last week.
This is another weird one where Kansas is favored right now in Vegas by 1.5.
At home, favored by 1.5, which means they think UCF is better.
ESPN's FPI says UCF 60.5% to Kansas's 39.5, and I think that's all hinging. This got to be all hinging on Jalen Daniels, right?
Right. I was just gonna say that tells me Jalen Daniels isn't not expected to play.
Not expected to play.
And then if he does play, then those numbers look different. 60% UCF.
God help me
Really?
if UCF gets the first new Big 12 win.
Well, yeah, of course.
I guess BYU would have paved the way for them, though, right?
Yeah, that's how that works. They don't have road concrete, like they don't have blacktop asphalt machines in Orlando. Somebody else has to pave the way.
It's because it's too damn hot down there for asphalt. They're trying to figure out how to put.
Melts.
They're trying to paint it white.
It looks like molten lava.
It feels like it too.
13 seconds after you put it down.
You have tar sticking to your shoes when you walk around on blacktop in Orlando. In the fall.
Right. In November. Right. That's what happens.
Yeah.
I want to see this one bad. Like, I don't, because of the quarterback situation, like, is Plumlee back? Is there rust? Is Daniels back? Like, is the back, like, how aggravated is that back injury? There's so much unknown going into this game.
There's a lot.
Rock Chalk.
Look,
Jayhawk.
I don't think you can. If you are betting, I don't think you can bet on a new Big 12 team until
anything in this
until you've seen a new Big 12 team win. I don't think you can bet on a new Big 12 team.
65 is the over/under. Like
65.
I need to see the court. So that they clearly expect both regulars to play then. If the over/under is 65.
I don't know, unless they expect UCF to just run it up if Jalen or unless they expect
the line is Kansas 1.5.
Well, what's UCF averaging right now as far as
I don't know
rush yards allowed? 157. Maybe Neal has a day.
Yeah, I mean, look, that Kansas like read option, like weird kind of option attack, puts a lot of stress on defenses. So they could chew UCF up there.
Potentially.
I don't know. I'm fascinated by that one. I'm all in on Kansas. Money line though. I'm not even giving the 1.5.
UCF's averaging 545 yards of offense.
Yeah, and they're 3-2.
Weirder things have happened. You could be 2-3.
Right. The dumpster fire game of the week, like who is going to be up in flames? And this is depending on what happens with Iowa State Saturday. Iowa State could be the dumpster fire game next week. Where if you lose and somebody pushes your ass down the street and you're just a dumpster rolling down the street on fire. Texas Tech goes to Waco to play Baylor. Texas Tech is favored by 1.5, over under 60.5.
I gotta think that if Aranda doesn't win this one, he's firmly on the hot seat.
Which is crazy because what happened 2 years ago. Like they were right there. There. Right there.
Texas Tech favored in this one by ESPN, 66%. The line, Texas Tech is only being given 1.5 points.
Yeah.
No one knows what to do with this game at all, clearly, Vegas included. The over-under at 60.5, I'm taking under.
Like I think we're almost at the point of this season, Aaron, where we need to like find a commemorative coin, start coin flipping these games. Like it's crazy. Like we talked about that so much in the offseason, and we discussed it last week a ton. But guess what? That's the life that like 9 of the 14 teams in the conference are living right now. Every game is 1.5, 2, 2.5.
And Baylor's coming off the last minute finish against UCF. Texas Tech coming off a drubbing of Houston. They didn't leave any room for wondering
both
who's
teams
the better
on a
team there.
one-game winning streak.
Both teams sitting at 2-3. I wouldn't touch this game with any money at all. Not if you were a fan, not if you weren't a fan. Leave this one alone.
Just it's not even on TV. No, that one's on ESPN2 at 8.
If you parlay this game,
ESPN2.
if you put this game in any of your parlays, you've set your money on fire.
TCU, Iowa State to close it out, 8 p.m., Fox Sports 2. TCU favored by 6, over under 52.5. I think the metrics think TCU is a lot better than Iowa State, but I saw a little big playability from Iowa State in that first half, at least last week against Oklahoma. They popped like 3 sizable chunk plays. But you have to think TCU gets a win here.
I would think without a shadow of a doubt TCU was getting a win if TCU was at home. I don't believe in this TCU team at all.
You hate Sonny Dykes. It's remarkable you hate Sonny Dykes more than me.
I will say I think TCU actually wins this game, but I don't think they cover the 6-point spread. And I think that at 52.5, you're getting a bargain. I think this game is going to finish up somewhere around 20-17, 21-17. And I think that Sonny Dykes is going to be happy to make it out of there with a win. And maybe he's joining Dana Holgerson for a Red Bull vodka.
I'm going to take Iowa State. I don't really have a lot of explanation why. I just think I don't know. I watched a good portion of that first half of the Oklahoma game. Now, granted, they gave up 40 in the first half. That's not easy to do, to give the other opponent the opportunity to score 40 points in 30 minutes. That's rare. It doesn't happen often in college football. But
the hell is
for some reason,
the hell is Iowa State even? Iowa State, I don't understand Iowa State. Like, if you're going to be a good defensive team, you have to also be good at running the ball. And they're averaging less than 100 yards running the ball. They're not good at running the ball.
No, not good at all. They've got a lot of problems. But I don't know why. For some reason, I'm gonna pick an upset here and take Iowa State. And then they'll be coming into Cincinnati with, overconfidence in their abilities.
I think TCU wins this game, but I don't think I think it's going to be an ugly game. Like
21-17, is that what you got? Something like that?
If you're into offense, this is not the game to watch.
Yeah. Figure out something to do
at
take a nap. 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. Do something.
Go have a fire and a beer. Check the score on your phone.
Right. You're not missing anything.
No.
All right. That's going to wrap it up. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.